Welcome to the Qatar Open Innovation Program webinar, brought to you by QRDI Council in partnership with Qatar Airways Technical. I'm delighted to be your host for today's session. So my name is Oscar Barranco Libana. I serve as QRDI Program Director, leading the local enterprises innovation area. So joining me today are our distinguished guests and panelists, Mr. Deros Rosan Maniklal, Assistant Vice President responsible for technical line and light maintenance in Doha and Qatar Airways Global Network. He's dedicated to ensuring on-time performance while maintaining the safety, reliability, and operational efficiency of the Qatar Airways fleet through timely and effective maintenance. Mr. Mohammed Anas Hassan is Fleet Support Analyst Engineer at Qatar Airways. He specializes in technical data analysis, data modeling, and providing proactive alerts to enhance operational performance of engineering operations. And Mr. Prasun Sarma, Continuous Improvement and Transformation Lead at Qatar Airways. He leads and orchestrates programs and projects aimed to delivering sustainable profits by integrating Lean Sigma and project management expertise to technical and engineering projects. Regarding today's agenda, I will start with an introduction to the Qatar Open Innovation Program. Following that, our partner from Qatar Airways Technical will discuss the need for a smart work scheduling and staff allocation tool. Afterwards, I will outline the application process for the innovation call. Then we will move to the Q&A session where Qatar Airways team will address your technical questions before we conclude the webinar. Please feel free to submit your questions at any time during the session using the Q&A function that you can find in Zoom. So the Qatar Research, Development and Innovation Council was established in 2018 to drive the national R&D efforts in alignment with the Qatar National Vision 2030 and the second National Development Strategy. So QRDI Council has developed a 10-year strategy, so QRDI 2030, aimed at creating a locally empowered, globally connected R&D research and development and innovation ecosystems. So this strategy mobilized leadership across government, academia, and industry to transform Qatar's social and economic future. Among QRDI funding programs is the Qatar Open Innovation Program. So this program connects Qatari large enterprises and governmental agencies with local and global innovators. We collaborate with large local enterprises and governmental agencies to identify areas where technology-based innovation can enhance their performance and competitiveness. Once these opportunities are identified, we structure them as calls for proposals and promote them globally to attract the best innovative solutions. We then partner with innovators to pilot these solutions in Qatar. Through this program, we facilitate the engagement between innovators and large local enterprises and governmental agencies, and we fund these initial projects to be developed in Qatar. As part of the Open Innovation Program, here is our offer to you as innovators. First, we receive financial support for developing pilot projects, potential for commercial agreements with large local enterprises and government agencies, simplified process for registering your company in Qatar, utilize local incubators and accelerators for growth and development, and gain entry to the Qatar and the GCC markets. So this slide shows the 90 opportunity owners we have collaborated with since launching the program in 2022. We have partnered with globally, regionally, or locally renowned Qatari corporates, as well as various ministries and government agencies. We aim to expand our partnerships with additional entities this year. So far, we have published 52 open innovation calls, awarded 27 projects, and completed 6 of them. So that was an overview of the program. Now I will hand over to the Qatar Airways team to discuss the innovation opportunity they would like to develop. So, Dros, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Oscar, for the introduction, and we're excited to start this collaboration. So I will actually hand over to Prasoon, and he'll lead the call. Go ahead, Prasoon.
Well, thank you so much. We're excited about this call, and I suppose similar to what Oscar did, we presume that there might be a few people on this call who perhaps might be new to sort of Qatar Airways and where who we are, the scope of our reach, our brand identity, and what we're trying to achieve. And so, what we wanted to do is to just give you a very high level overview of the airline itself, and also in line with what Oscar mentioned is that we are in line with the state of Qatar in terms of achieving Qatar's 2030 vision as a national carrier. So this is something that we're really pushing for, and we're super excited about this partnership with QRDI, and very optimistic as to what it can deliver. Maybe I'm hoping that you're all aware that we are a global brand, and one of the fastest growing airlines, operating one of the youngest fleets in the world, which is something that we're very proud of. We have a total of 8 companies, 5 in the aviation industry. This innovation call and the output from it is something that we think that if successful, and we're very hopeful that it will be, is something that we can apply within the various subsidiaries within the Qatar Airways group. So we're very excited about this, very hopeful, and looking forward to what it can deliver. One thing that also we want to mention is that, and we say it with pride, that we won the world's best airline, and we've won it 8 times in a row. So it's something that we say with pride, and we're hoping that we can partner with people and organizations who share the same pride in their work, and who can help us to continue to deliver excellence. I do apologize. This is Peter Ayeni speaking. I am one of the program managers from the Continuous Improvement and Transformation team. Alongside with one of my colleagues, Hessa, we've been doing a lot of work with QRDI, and been facilitating the innovation arm of Qatar Airways. And so if there's anything, we're looking forward to hearing your questions, how you can support and how we can partner with several organizations on this call. And I'll hand over to my colleague who would give a more detailed view as to what we're looking for, and hopefully answer all of your questions.
Okay, thank you, Peter. Oscar, if you can change the slide, please. Great. So thank you everyone for joining in, and this is Prasoon speaking. Just to give you a background of this particular innovation call. Qatar Airways technical line maintenance. These were the primary focus for us for this particular innovation call. So, and they are the major stakeholders. Just to explain you the quantum of work we are operating around 170 plus destination, taking care of 280 plus aircrafts with different fleet type. And we are also serving maintenance services to more than 55 customers, airline customers. On a daily basis, we observe about 600 plus aircraft arrival and departures of QA flights and more than 80 customer airline flights. For this entire innovation call, what we are planning to do is before even getting into the real challenges, we wanted to make you understand the concept behind the aircraft maintenance. Um, if you can see on the right hand side on the top, we have the long-term and the short-term maintenance plan, and that basically helps us to plan our aircraft maintenance. And this particular information is more relevant towards those aircraft which will be coming towards the hangar for the long-term maintenance plan, um, which have got more high ground time. The line maintenance also operates on the business operating plan, which actually tells you the time when the aircrafts are landing and the times when they are flying. So the between the landing and the arrival and the departure, that is the ground time, which we generally look at, and we plan our maintenance work orders. So from the planner's perspective, the maintenance is planned looking at the ground time and looking at the scope of maintenance, also at the incoming defects or the unscheduled work which these guys are experiencing. And the way they plan it is they have work orders, which is nothing but a collection of task cards for a particular aircraft tail number. And they can have one or more work orders per aircraft type. And then every work order has got either one or multiple staff allocated on that particular tail number. Now, at the staff level, they might be doing single or multiple task cards and then closing the work order. Now, these maintenance type, which are governed by these maintenance work orders, can be as small as for the light maintenance transit checks and can be as big as a heavy C checks. So the quantum of work may differ, but the concept of work order and task cards within is the same concept throughout. And the staff allocation also is the same concept. So basically, if we plan to get this particular innovation done for Qatar Airways, this can be used in multiple various areas of technical. Okay, so Oscar, if you can just change the slide, please. Okay, so over here, what we are trying to explain is a decision-making perspective from the planner's side as well as from the resource allocator's side. If you can see on the right-hand side, to plan or to schedule a work order on a particular day, a planner has to take a lot of decisions in terms of what is the fleet schedule, which type of work is there, what is the scope of the work, how much ground time does he have, is there availability of the hangar or not, are the spare parts or the components available for the maintenance check, what is the total capacity available, how many engineers, how many authorized staff, mechanics are available, and if there are some urgent tasks which has to be done, and what is the priority or the sequencing of the tasks. And then he has to do this again and again for each and every work order to plan for his entire day. On the other hand, once he has done this particular job, the maintenance allocators, the resource allocators, they have to go through again the series of decisions. What type of fleet type, what type of skill is required to execute this task card or this work order? Is it requiring any authorization type? How many individual man hours do I have? How much of ground time is remaining? What is the distance from the previous job till and the next job? And what is the task priority before he allocates every single staff? As Peter told you that we are growing aircraft airliners, we have a lot of aircrafts coming in, our business is expanding. We would require smart intelligence software which could help us optimize this decision making and suggest us with the best maintenance scope for maintenance ground time for the fitment of work order, as well as the best suitable staff for executing that work order. So if I can just explain you quickly, on the left-hand side, you will see a model which we have discussed within ourselves. We are planning to have 4 modules within this particular innovation. The first one is the work order scheduling, and this basically would be an optimizer which identifies the best possible ground time slot and schedules maintenance work orders. That would help the planners ease their jobs in taking a lot of decisions throughout the day for planning the work orders. And also, if there is any disruption in the business, for example, an AOG or an aircraft arriving late, then at least the planners or the system can help him take better decisions. And that's what we are looking for in the first module. The second module is for the staff roster. The system we are expecting to look at the pattern, the peaks and the troughs during the entire day, and to have some kind of a machine learning and give us a better staff rostering so that we can optimally use our manpower. The third module, which we are talking about, the staff allocation, over here we are expecting an optimizer which identifies the work order required, takes care of all the business rules which we have discussed, and then after considering the various factors, provides us the best possible staff which will be allocated for that particular job. And the fourth thing, which is the real time, this is from the staff or the worker, from the mechanic or the engineer's perspective. He would be having his view of what are the tasks which has been allocated to him, and if there is anything which he is finding difficulty in his current job and he might not be able to execute, so at least he can remind the controller or the resource allocator that he might not be able to do the next job. So it's kind of an interactive view for this between the staff as well as the controller. Other than this, we expect the reports on the dashboard from various KPIs to measure various KPIs and as part of the continuous improvement. And that's about it from my side.
Thanks, Prasoon. I think that's it from our side, and we'll be open to questions and such like. Except if
thank you,
Rose has anything to add to it. Sorry about that.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you for the beautiful project, actually, and very comprehensive presentation. So let me perhaps show you how to submit your proposal. So first of all, you access our QRDI portal at the link that is on here. It is also here in the chat. So once that you click here, you scroll down to see the active calls. So you click on the call that you are seeing right now. Then you move to this page where you will have to click on apply here, which it will take you to our partner 9 Sigma portal, where you can register, or if you don't have any account, or you can sign in if you already have an account. So always remembering that we need to fill all the fields and click off the save button to save your work to continue later. And don't forget to click on the submit button where you have completed the proposal. The due date to submit your proposal is on the 3rd of September. Okay. So we have now reached the Q&A session. I, along with the Qatar Airways team, will do our best to answer your questions. If we are unable to address your questions live, I will follow up with you in a written communication. Okay. So let me check the. Okay. Okay, let me start with the first question. So they are asking if this task will be only for maintenance schedule and allocation, or other tasks for Qatar Airways can be presented too. I don't know if Rasul Mohammed, you can address
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so Qatar Airways group owns several companies within the airline that have other tasks that will be this tool can be used to. So we have the Qatar Airways catering company, which has operational tasks. We have Qatar Airways duty free, which also has an operational schedule and needs a dynamic change in allocation. As well as the Qatar Airways, as well as the Qatar Aviation Services ground handling company. So there are a few companies within the Qatar Airways group that will benefit from this solution. But the current focus of this call is on technical operation.
Very good. Okay, so the second question is, should our solution include real-time location tracking, infrastructure and hardware, or is there any existing tracking network at the airport we can access via API?
No, definitely we require a real-time location tracking. And that would be one of the reasons why. So we would require to know the distance between the jobs for the mechanic and if he's able to do it or not. So yes, the real-time location tracking would be required. Yeah.
Clear. The next question is, should all the parts mentioned in the model address in the pilot?
I suppose we would want to see that we have a working solution. We understand and we appreciate that some of these could be sort of modular in the sense of there's certain aspect that it addresses and we trial in the pilot and then we adjust and tweak as the case may be. What we would want to do is to make sure that whatever solution that we're trialing has the potential to go sort of the full hog in meeting the requirement. More so because one, we want to get a good sense of a proof of value, but also it's the idea of going down this route of an innovation call is that we have been on the market to see if they're off-the-bench solutions, and we haven't found one that ticks all the boxes. And as such, the view is, can we go down an innovation and get something sort of developed that has that is bespoke to this sort of for technical in this case, but is also scalable in the sense that can be is versatile enough to be used in other similar type applications or use cases. So to come back to the answer, the preference would be that yes, that it is. We want to be able to get a sense of all of the requirements in the pilot, but we are also appreciative of the fact that some of these things will be built or have a modularity built around them, if that helps.
Okay, so I think the next one may be answered already. So they are asking, to participate, do we need to have an existing solution?
No, we are open to all types of solution, but the idea is that we need to have a proof of concept, and that's what Peter said, that we need to have a proper solution where we can actually go and test some of our user cases. So yeah, whether it be an existing solution or maybe you're innovating something, we're open to all kind of solution.
Yeah.
Very good. Next question is, what is the underlying ERP that we will need to integrate with?
We don't know yet.
Anas, if you can answer this particular question, that would be great.
Hi, thank you, Prasun. The integration with the MRO system and the current staff rostering system. So and the aircraft scheduling system.
So right, so let me briefly explain it to you. So we are in a transition of changing our MRO. the ERP system. And yes, you will like to integrate with the ERP because the work orders are sitting over there. With that saying, you will also be integrating with the flight operation system, where you will see the schedules of the flight, the incoming flight and the outbound flights. The HRMS system, where there is rosters and the staff information, of course. As well as if there's any other system, Anas, if there's any other system where there will be any kind of an integration.
No, Prasun, at the moment, only these main three systems which we are using in maintenance.
Okay. Okay.
Very good. Okay. The next question is the intended solution only for below the wing operations, or will it include aircraft turnaround, maintenance, cleaning operations as well?
I suppose, like we said at the start, we anticipate that the solution would have multiple use cases. Right now, we are looking below the wing, but the principle will still remain in terms of above the wing and in other use cases, as my colleague Hesa mentioned, not only when it comes to the maintenance type operation, but also within other subsidiaries or other business units within Qatar Airways. But for now, we would limit and focus the conversation to below the wing.
Clear. Okay, so next question is, will the scope of work for the 4 modules discussed be shared with us? Will the scope of work for the 4 modules discussed be shared with us?
Yes, we will, yes.
Very good. Next question, what KPIs are you interested in tracking within the dashboard?
There will be multiple KPIs actually, and this is something which we are still planning to. We are under discussion, but definitely we will have to look at a lot of processes which are directly and indirectly involved with aircraft maintenance operations, and the KPIs will be associated to them: on-time performance, staff efficiency, staff performances, everything. So yeah, that is something which we are still under discussion, but yes, there's going to be a lot of KPIs which you want to track.
I suppose just to add to that as well, and perhaps reading between the line, is there is the view of what KPIs are we going to be tracking within the dashboard, where the view of this, of the output of this, is that it brings a seamless synergy between what needs to be done, who needs to do it, how we are ensuring that we have the right people doing the right jobs, and how we manage all of that. So I think there are multiple facets to it. And so we want to make sure that the KPIs would have to be addressing all of this. But similarly, it's also a case of what is sort of critical to success, right? In terms of what is being developed, how is it meeting the need, and how do we ensure that it's fit for purpose. So those are all the things that will be measured alongside the output of this. But at the end of the day, is the tool that is being developed is helping us to create the right synergy, bringing the right level of governance, and helping us to use our resources. And I use that in a broad term, both in terms of materials and people together, and how we making sure that we're making the best use of our resources. And the associated performance indicators with all of those areas are what we'll be tracking going forward.
Very good. Next question, will you provide data for developing the AI models?
Yeah, so this is also a very Good question. Yes, we would provide. There are certain things that we have to do. We also understand that there are sensitive information that we have to we have to be aware of, and so we would perhaps need an NDA to be able to provide data. However, that shouldn't be a showstopper, because there are synthetic data that we could create to test the proof of value. And so what we need to do is, I don't want data to be a showstopper as such. Yes, I suppose what we can give at this stage is that we would provide data with the right protection around it. So be it an NDA, whatever the case may be, we'll provide data. However, with things like this, we could start off with synthetic data that help us to accelerate the development stage, and we begin to refine closer to, I suppose, the go live of a pilot.
Okay. Should we submit a theoretical and technical proposal?
Perhaps what we can say is we want a working solution. Whatever a working solution looks like. So the preference would be for working solutions. I don't think a theoretical or technical proposal will meet the brief. We want something that is that's feasible. Bear in mind, there's also some communication and some marketing that needs to be done around this. So a theoretical solution might not be effective in achieving that. And so we need something that is, we need a workable solution, which is substantiated by something that is more tangible than a theoretical or technical proposal.
Okay. So will there be sample data sets made available for analysis to help with the proposal process? And if so, is there an NDA that needs to be executed? I think this is already answered, correct?
I believe this was answered with the last question.
Yes.
But also, I imagine that different solution providers may be asking for different things. So we also need to understand what data set is being requested for, and what can be made available. But like I said, in most cases, we'll need an NDA agreement.
Very good. Okay. What type of existing technologies in the space of AI and machine learning are in place at Qatar Airways? This will give a better idea as to what direction to take when developing a proof of concept for the proposal.
I think this is another good question. I suppose the way we would answer this question is that we don't want any one to be hinged by what we currently have. We are pushing for innovative solutions, and so we are open to whatever AI and ML proposals that are being put forward. However, we understand that there might be sort of consequences to that in terms of the technical infrastructure that is available to support whatever proposal that is being put forward. I think the simple answer would be, one, we don't want anyone to be unhinged. Two, we would cross that bridge when we get to
it. What is the approximate number of spare part SKUs that need to be in the system?
We do not want any spare parts to be in the system because the ERP already manages the spare parts, all the transactions. What we want to know is if it's available or not, which can be done by a simple integration.
Clear. Do you have an API for the location tracker?
Negative. I don't believe so, no.
I don't think we have one at this point in time. At least not one that is on the scale of what we're trying to achieve here.
Okay. When do you expect the pilot to go live?
To be honest, as soon as possible. If you have a solution that you think meets the brief, we would like to hear, see it, try it, feel it, smell it, whatever it is. But as soon as possible.
Very good. So they are saying we have a very similar system we currently use for managing ambulance fleets across the UK. Would a demonstration of this be enough to show the proof of concept before we started to build an aircraft-specific system?
So the challenge is not having a field management system. We have also seen a lot of field management system and similar systems which are there right now. What we are interested is to a system which can actually cater to our problems specific to Qatar Airways and Qatar Airways, all the other factors which we had discussed. And that would be something which we need to see, because we will be providing you scenarios where the system has to be tested based on multiple factors which are very unique to aviation related field as well as to Qatar Airways, because our prime focus is customer having a better customer experience. So there's going to be a lot of different business rules which we are focusing on. So not any field management system or any similar system. We want a very specific system catering to our business needs.
I suppose just to add to that as well is, whilst the title might call it an ambulance fleet management system across the UK, what may not be obvious from the title is the functionality and the span and breadth of what it covers and what it can do. So I would say that we're not opposed to it. We actually want to see, and perhaps in some cases, just having a feel for something that is existing and something that can be further developed might be a good starting point. So we're not opposed to it. However, I'm hoping that from the sort of brief that was given earlier, you get a sense of the specificity of what we're trying to achieve here. And how it's almost sort of a fit for purpose system that we're looking for.
Will it be possible to see the current workflow that is currently used for the operations prior to close of this call? This is possible. If not, I need to highlight also as well, if any kind of questions we are not able to answer, we will also engage with you through email.
So we can provide you a generic workflow, a process flow of what do we do, and it will not be very specific. But yes, we can provide you very generic good process flow what we are doing over here. Yes.
Okay. So what is the expected resolution in time of the real-time tracking, and how long is the data expected to be available?
Anas, if you can answer this particular question.
Yes,
Right.
yes.
Shall I repeat?
Anas, you're on mute, I guess.
Prasun, I will come back with these questions.
Okay.
I suppose what we can provide at this point in time is, and because this is almost as an open-ended question, in terms of, except I don't understand the question well. What is expected resolution in time of the real-time tracking? I'm guessing what they're asking here is, how quickly do they want the system to respond and such like, which again it sounds very open-ended. And how long is the data expected to be available? Again, if you could, whoever raised the question, please, if you could perhaps provide more
Okay. Next question. Could you please write the name of the ERP systems?
I suppose what we could do is we would. This is something that probably we'll have to provide outside of this call as to the system.
Okay.
It's we might need to get some clearance before we share this. But what I can say is the standard industry tools or systems. So you know, the big names you would find in the industry are the things that we also use in here.
Will you provide data for developing the AI models? I think this has been already addressed, correct? If an onboard computer has detected an issue, this will automatically trigger a work order and be in the pool of all other types of tasks, right? From an execution point of view, it won't be much different.
Hi, currently it's not automatically creating the work order. We have a team, we will get the notification, and from there, they're creating a work order. It's a manual work order creating. So it's like an incoming defect. And it's scheduling to the respective aircraft or type.
What challenges do you face or see today with the systems?
I'm guessing the question is, what challenges do we see with off-the-bench systems? I suppose, if you remember from the presentation earlier, there are 4 aspects to the model we're looking for. So one is, you know, a work order scheduling. The other part of it is the sort of we call it the staff rostering. There's a staff allocation, and there's sort of a real time, you know, which I think a few questions alluded to it around AI and ML and such like. The challenges we've found so far is that we've found systems and tools that perhaps can answer at most 3 of those requirements. We haven't had one that has sort of ticked all the box, and we are excited about the prospect of actually being able to build something that ticks all of these boxes, not only because we think it has a scalable use case within Qatar Airways, but I think this is something that perhaps would be applicable to other airlines, industries, and such like. So there is a market for this.
Can this solution be co-developed along with Qatar Airways? Do you need this solution to be executed via mobile or hand-free devices or head-mounted tables like smart glasses?
I believe, like I said earlier, we're open to innovative ideas and solutions. We want to partner with the organizations around some solutions. So the answer is yes, yes, yes. Do we want to use, you know, sort of mobile devices? I suppose it's almost subsumed in the ask in terms of being able to allocate staff to the right job, and there should be some a mobility aspect to the solution at the end of the day. And so yes, yes, yes to those questions.
Does the concept of broadcast work order exist which means sent out to a group of technicians for such to accept it, or is there a default mode that technician is implied assigned a work order, or he does not have the option to accept or reject?
Broadcasting of work order, no. This particular solution, no, because the resource allocators are looking for the best possible fit for execution of the work order based on the constraint of having a very limited ground time. So the best person who is an authorized staff and who has skills and experience, that would be the best fit, and that's something which is a decision on the resource allocator. So broadcasting of the work orders, no, is not the right thing which you're saying.
Okay. Clear. Is the full working solution expected by September proposal, or proof of concept is enough, which will then be developed through the course of the next year?
Let them answer. I think this is for the QRDI team to help with, because it's part of the call requirements, correct? Tanya?
Yeah, so basically, I mean, when we are talking about it doesn't have to be the full working solution in September. So the September proposal will indicate, what is the proposal, but then it will have to be developed, of course, in the course of in the next month, of course. If an onboard computer has detected an issue, this will automatically trigger a work order and be in the pool of all other types of tasks, right? From an execution point of view, it won't. Sorry, this is one bypass. Sorry, this another one. Being an important system for the company, what is the expected level of redundancy on the hardware infrastructure, or will Qatar be hosting the solution?
That's a very good question. This is something that I think that we are also open to ideas. However, one thing that we are also very heavy on is data and how we manage and protect the data, as you can appreciate and understand. And so the preference of the hosting is that it's something that we manage. However, we're open to ideas as to how this can be done, depending on the solution that's being proposed.
Okay. 3 last questions. So if you intend to on having a machine learning solution, the data required to train such a model will likely need to be significant in order to achieve the desired accuracy. Will this volume of data be available for the pilot?
Again, another good question. The answer is yes and no. We will provide as much data that is allowable within the remits of an NDA framework. But also, we don't want to, I mean, as you can understand, is there has to be a level of confidence in the solution, a level of confidence in the partner that, helps us to share as much data without any sort of hindrance. So it's not, I wouldn't consider it as a showstopper. It's good that it's been asked that there's thinking and thoughts around this, but we are willing collaborators, and we want the solution to work. So whatever we can do with our remit to make it work, we will. I suppose there's also room for building the trust and confidence, both in the partner and in the solution itself. And that would help to unlock the more release of data, so to speak. I hope that answers that question.
Okay. If any of our team members happen to be in Qatar now before the submission closing, is there any possibility to discuss more details with anyone arranging the scoping of discovery session?
I think from our side, as long as there is the NDA there, which we would need to sign, and then the support of the QRDI team, we're happy to meet and provide any additional information.
Okay. Once the proposal is submitted, how long after that we'll receive a response from QRDI, NCIM, and Qatar? So usually it will take around, I think, 1 month, 2 months max. But we will also confirm that through you through email. What is the tenure of the project? And is the available fund for this duration? I think this is not clear. What is the tenure of the project?
I'm guessing this is the tenure of the project. I'm guessing this is what it means.
Yeah.
Here's from what we can say is that we're excited about having a working solution in our hands as soon as possible. I suppose there's also a part that QRDR plays in this, and the protocols that govern the innovation call and the pipeline of solutions that come through that, and also the funding is available. So I suppose for us is we're really we really want to work a solution as soon as possible, but we understand that there are governing protocols that apply, and we will work within those protocols.
Okay. As some of the data is confidential to Qatar Airways, it will require to develop a model that works well based on synthetic data. Will there be a collaboration with SMEs to get a better understanding on how to create this synthetic data?
Absolutely. The idea of the synthetic data is to prove it's a proof of concept, and once and the proof of value. Once we can demonstrate that sufficiently, we're happy to work with the SMEs to take that to the next level, to provide sort of and nourish the model with more real data. Again, with the NDA in place.
That is clear. Okay, last 2 questions. If the work order is being scheduled and the technician is executing it, but now he encounters a problem, does the solution has the capability to invoke the augmented reality annotation based video call and get the assistance from expert sitting any part of the world? And he records and resolves the issue. Can we include this in the proposal?
Absolutely. This sounds like an interesting world to live in, and why not? If you can do this, we're happy and open to it. So please, whoever made the suggestion, please, you are whetting our appetite with things like that. So, but hey, we want we want to learn to walk before we fly. But yes, we would be open to. This is the idea of this. It's an innovation call. We're looking for innovative solutions. So, if this is possible, why not? However, we want to walk before we fly.
Very good. Last question. Is there any data migration required from the systems?
Yes, of course.
Yes, and I think it's also down to the solution we propose. There is a case of a systems integration, which doesn't necessarily need a data migration from one system to the other. If a solution is requiring data migration, that might, again, too early to make the call on that, but that sounds a lot more complex, so to speak. Well, not a lot more complex, but there might be a few more challenges on that front. But if a data migration is needed, we would again cross that bridge when we get to it. Perhaps the quicker approach might be more of a systems integration.
Very good. Okay, so this is the final questions. We have now reached the end of the webinar. I would like to thank Deros, Mohammed, and Prasant for the insights regarding this innovation opportunity, which I really believe this is a beautiful innovation challenge. Thank you to everyone who has attended. I look forward to receiving your proposals, and hopefully we are working with you on developing your pilots in Qatar very soon. Thank you very much, and have a nice day.